Okay.
All right, let's go. Just Mercy is a 2019 film based on the true story of Bryan Stevenson, a young defense attorney who wrote a memoir in 2014. And it's an adaptation of that memoir, actually. It had a box office of 50.4 million on a budget of 25 million. Warner Brothers ended up picking it up when it was going through the film festival process. And one of the things Warner Brothers did was when George Floyd was murdered, they made the film available free on several streaming platforms to educate the public about systemic racism. Stevenson handled also the defense of a guy named Hinton, who was McMillan's, Jamie Foxx plays McMillan, and his cellmate was also on death row for no good reason. And he spent an additional time there and got out in 2015 after 28 years on death row, never being charged. It's just amazing some of the things that happened. I was talking to Jeff Arthur about my time in Mississippi, and I don't know that it's ever going to change. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and let the discussion commence. Who wants to go first?
Hey, Mike, any awards?
Oh, it was like nothing like an Academy Award or anything like that. It was mostly film festival awards. The AARP Award for the best film for grown-ups.
Okay, there's that.
There's that.
What'd you say?
AARP. Oh,
That's funny.
there was also
I'm sorry.
it won a BET award for,
No kidding.
yeah, imagine that. So,
Was this the original screenplay adaptation? I meant to look it up after I watched the movie, because my only criticism of the movie, I mean, I thought it was, got a good story told well. I thought it was overwritten. Sometimes my complaint with movies is they leave gaps and you have to try to put the pieces together. This movie was overwritten where I never had to guess what was going on, because they would have these scenes where we're going to catch you up now and let's look. Here's maybe about what to happen, and then 20 minutes later it was the same thing. To me, my only criticism of it was overwritten, and I don't know if that was a book, a screenplay, an adaptation.
It was an adaptation. The book was written by Stevenson in 2014. He wrote a memoir, and then when the thing got picked up, they found somebody to write an adaptation of it, and that's what you
did. He, but he didn't do the adaptation.
No, he did not.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, Gary, I was thinking it was just the pacing, that it was just kind of slow, but now that I think about it, maybe what you're saying makes more sense. It was just, like you say, there was just like almost too much fill.
I have wounds. I was beaten over the head and shoulders by this movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow. You're a white guy.
You're recovering?
Whatever. I mean, this has been done before. I thought the performances were great. I thought the writing and direction was terrible.
Yeah, I thought it kind of dragged myself, but the outcome was good. And I thought Michael, I think his name is
Jordan.
Leonard or whatever his name was.
Jordan, Michael Jordan? Is it
Jordan? I'm sorry, Michael
Oh.
Jordan was very good, and I thought Jamie Foxx was very good.
I thought Tim Blake was great.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Tim was. That's a great scene, I think, where Jordan is trying to block the prosecutor from seeing Blake. When Blake was testifying, he wasn't doing very well, and those guys were looking at him, and so Jordan kind of got in the way. And the stories that he told, and of course he was afraid of being electrocuted because of the things that happened to him when he was younger.
I think they may have gone back and reworked some of this, partly to keep the viewers straight on this, because legally, it's a pretty complex story. I mean, because it's not just a trial, it's an appeals process, and deals with points of law besides just the guilt or innocence. And I think maybe they went back and just tried to retrench where they were on the story. And I mean, I noticed it as well. But that's what I took away from it, was they were just trying to keep everybody straight with the story.
Yeah, it really
That
wasn't
makes sense.
It wasn't a courtroom drama, but it was a legal drama for sure.
Mhm.
Maybe that's why I liked it. I liked the movie a lot, and I like legal dramas. I was telling Sanders that they had the little clip in there where they showed the 60 Minutes episode, but it had the actors from the movie in it. I went and watched the 60 Minutes episode, the real one that was about 15 or 16, 17 minutes long, and it was really interesting. They had all those same people, but the real people that they interviewed. And this was back in the early 90s, I think 92 or something. But like that prosecuting
Did it change the tone of it, or was the same takeaway whether you're watching the movie in context or just
no,
on
it was
TV?
kind of the same. It was kind of interesting. Like the prosecuting attorney, he had a similar look to him, but he was kind of a fat, pudgy guy. And he was just a jerk. And they also talked to I forget his name, is the guy who corroborated the first guy's story. He got paid off and got out of jail, and this is Maury Safer. Is that his name? He was I think that's his name. He was interviewing, and the guy was kind of getting all squirrely, and he was starting to kind of walk away, and he would like stand in front of him, and I don't know, it was interesting the way the technique he was interviewing him. But
Is that the trying to remember the guy's name, but he's from Tulsa. He's an actor from Tulsa. He was
The
in
Tim Blake Nelson guy.
Is that his name? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he's in Brother Where Art Thou, and
Yeah.
and he's actually a singer.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
He
He's
does
a
the
neighbor.
Ballad of Lester Scruggs or something like that.
Yeah, he was in that. Yeah.
John and I watched this together, and there were multiple times in the movie where things would come up, and we would look at each other and go, "Oh yeah, been there." Parchman Prison. Oh yeah. Whitfield Mental Institution. Oh yeah. And there was enough there that it was kind of a travelogue for us. We've been to most of those places that nobody else wants to go to, but that's
Did you ever
Mental
witness
institution.
an execution with?
no.
Or even
But
trial?
Joan went there. No, I didn't try. But Joan was driving by Parchman, and there were all these production trucks and stuff. And she pulled in. Hey, what's going on? You guys shooting a movie? And she thought it was, cast trucks and production trucks. And they went, no, there's an execution here later today. And you go, oh, and I'll just keep going. But she was at Parchman the day of an execution and thought it was a movie shoot.
Yeah, I was telling the story that I tried to get to witness several executions at Parchman, but always never made it. And a guard pulled me aside and said, did you get in this time? And I said, no. And he goes, that's just as well. He goes, what you should do is you should film this. If you were to go in and film one execution, they'd never do it again. And I just thought, wow, that's kind of interesting coming from a prison guard, And about that time in the late 70s and early 80s, Phil Donahue was trying to do that. And he got nowhere either. No judge or no lawyer, nobody would entertain that idea. But I think it would have changed the way we look at the whole thing if it would have happened.
Yeah, didn't Gary Gilmore, the guy that was executed by, I don't know if he was executed by a firing squad. I know he expressed an interest for that to happen. Didn't he try to get his execution televised as well?
I don't know.
Ring a bell?
now that you bring his name up, I think he did die by
Firing squad,
firing squad. And what was that, like in Nevada or something?
Utah is what I remember. It might have been
Utah.
Nevada.
There you go. Old West, you know. We're gonna rope him
It's
up.
weird how they have different ways of doing it in different states, you know.
Yeah. And then, you know, it's just a way of life in Mississippi. I was down there for, I don't know what, 5 years with, and I bet I went to at least 5 executions or more. And didn't get to witness any of them, but I was always
You went to
outside.
the prison on
yeah.
execution days?
Oh, yeah. We used to fly up there. The first time I went, because it's like a 4-hour drive. My station was like on the edge of town, and we had a helicopter pilot, and he also would fly a fixed wing, works every once in a while during floods and stuff. And he said, "Oh, you're going to Parchment? I'll get you up there." He said, "No problem." He goes, "It's a grass strip, and we have to fly over it, make sure there's no, potholes in it or anything." And I go up there all the time. They don't mind. And we pulled up there, and there was about 40 people in cars and trucks going, "Who the hell are you? And what are you doing on our penitentiary?"
They didn't know you were coming?
No. And they said, "Don't ever do that again without telling us you're coming." I didn't know any better.
Especially on execution day.
So
they're,
is that in
alert.
Mississippi?
Yeah.
But this is
Parchment.
Alabama, right?
Right. Parchment sits on 5 counties. It's about 22,000 acres altogether. And if you get out of whatever, part you're in, you still got 20,000 acres to go. There's no way out. They start the dogs on you and they're going to catch you.
Mattson, I may have this confused with another movie I've been watching that's got all sorts of Mississippi references. Yeah, you're right. I've been watching too many. I watched Your Honor, which is in Louisiana.
Yeah.
And Just Mercy in Alabama. But anyway, I watched a movie with a bunch of Mississippi references.
Hey, there's Donna.
There's Donna.
Hey, hi.
What ship?
Sorry, I'm late.
No problem.
Where she was.
We're
thought you were
recording
on a
already,
ship.
just so you know.
You thought what?
We
No,
thought
that's
you were on a
okay.
ship or something, on a
Oh,
cruise.
No. No, I only wish. No, I for some reason I couldn't get online. Everything was I was late to begin with, and then I kept trying to get in and I couldn't. Kept saying I wasn't online, and I was. But anyway, I'm here. So
You need to find a 12-year-old to
yeah, I know.
solve
I
all
know.
this.
I know.
Well, how would you like to chime in? Everybody else has kind of had a few things to say.
Oh, well, I had seen it before, Mike, and I loved it then. I thought it was wonderful. I think Jamie Foxx does a phenomenal job acting. I thought he was so good. Well, they both were, they're both really good. And it's one of those movies that makes you think. At the end of it, you start wondering how many people are in that situation in this state alone. That what's the guy's name? Bryan. He has written a book, and he has been on a number of news shows. The one that has done, I think is he the one that started the Innocence Project? I'm not sure, but he might have the Innocence Project, and he's gotten so many people off that have been that have been wrongly accused. And it's just it just makes you start, to me, it just makes me think, I'm so amazed all the time that I live in the South. I know that sounds terribly prejudiced, but the South it's a whole different way of thinking in the South. And I'm always amazed at it, just living here after living somewhat north, from Chicago, and then coming here. it is somewhat of a culture shock. So, but back to the movie. I enjoyed the movie. I was in tears, of course, and this is the second time I saw it. But I was just, it just was one of those movies that makes you think at the end of it, how many times has this happened? The prejudice that is still around, that's still coming up. So, and that Bryan, I forget the Bryan, the attorney, he is still on, I've seen him on numerous news shows, and he's just an amazing, amazing man that has done wonderful things. So I enjoyed it. And thank you, Mike. It was a great suggestion.
Well, Donna, Florida is up there, Texas is up there, and Missouri is also another high
Yeah,
execution,
I know.
rate state. And in fact, just this afternoon or this morning, there's a woman that's been on death row for about 40 years that has now been taking the first steps towards exoneration. She's not quite there yet, but she won a legal battle in court today. And so there's, on the Midwest Innocence Project, which is not just Missouri and Kansas, but includes Arkansas and Iowa as well. There's probably 30 people that are in situations similar to this, just here in the Midwest.
I know it. I mean, I can see it. I can see it here. As much as I love Sarasota in terms of the art, although we probably won't have any art anymore because of DeSantis. He cut all the funding to the artists here. But anyway, it's another story. What was I going to say? Who knows? The mind is gone. What can I tell you? I just know.
Mahoney was talking about Missouri has got a case that is about to be resolved or not. And, it's not only southern states.
Yeah, I know. I can see it, here, where I live in Sarasota, it is so homogenized. And so, I mean, there's a black area. I mean, but people don't connect with each other. There's a wonderful theater called the West Coast Black Theater, and it is wonderful. It's professional theater. It's all black casts. They do wonderful shows. I have never, and I've gone there, I can't tell you how many times. I have never seen a black face in the audience. And it's the West Coast Black Theater. So, I mean, it's just so crazy in the South. It's just different,
But nobody in Sarasota was born there.
Pardon me?
Nobody in Sarasota was born there. Didn't everybody come?
Well, yeah, you're probably right. I know I do meet a lot of natives that are here and have been here their whole life. But it's just a different way of I don't know, thinking, I guess. So yeah, it does make you
Didn't
think.
they say at the end of the movie that something like 1 in 9 people on death row are not there, or they shouldn't be there?
Yes, that's right, Jeff.
That's
1 in
crazy.
9. That's an awful for death row. My God, that's just an awful percentage. So.
So Sanders, you think they made this movie for profit or for a purpose?
I think it was the purpose. I think they were trying to support this guy and put it out there. One thing I mentioned, and I don't know if it was before you, Whit, but Warner Brothers bought this when they were in the film festival phase.
Right.
And then they put it out when George Floyd died. They put it on a number of streaming platforms in different places for free, just to show people how systemic racism is in America. And then that's a whole separate story. George Floyd, gee whiz.
Yeah.
So did the Innocence Project or his whatever organization called receive anything from this?
Good question. I don't
Well,
know.
Sure, they
Positive publicity, but maybe nothing more.
yeah.
I'll bet you their contributions.
Yeah, I would think so too, because at the end of it, remember Bryan was in it, the real Bryan, the real attorney.
We
At the
got a
very
credit.
end, we saw his
Yeah.
pictures. So I'm gonna guess that, yeah, that they got something from this. But that's just a guess. I don't know. But he's a pretty amazing speaker as well. The
Bet.
Bryan that I've seen on the news shows, he's just really good. And it's so obvious that he is so sincere, that he recognizes this issue and just is willing to do whatever he can do. No, it's pretty amazing.
And it's really hard work. I know one of the attorneys that, up here in Kansas City that does a lot of Innocence Project work and just also does death penalty appellate litigation. And over the course of the time that I've known her now, probably 25 or 30 years, I have seen it take a physical toll on her. I mean, she just doesn't look like the same person that I met 25 or 30 years ago, because it's really hard work. It's painstaking. The deck is often stacked against you. And then the other thing is, and they alluded to this in the front of this film, about the poor level of representation that a lot of these guys get, especially at the trial level. And then
Yeah, I was going to say in the first instance.
Yeah, and then again on the appellate level, it's really hard work all the way around, and that's why a lot of people don't go into this kind of law.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I don't know if it was this movie or another. I don't know if it was a movie I'm talking about, but I remember hearing that if you got a public defender, that person has approximately 15 minutes with you, and that's it. Because there's so many on the docket, and there's so many that they have to take. So you get approximately 15 minutes with your attorney before you go and for the arraignment. So what can someone tell you in 15 minutes, about these? It just seems so, it's stacked against a lot of people. That's sad.
Yeah, it's not unusual for a public defender to literally have hundreds of cases, maybe 1,000 of them.
Yeah, and that's impossible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the workload of the public defender agency in the state of Missouri has been an issue here for a long time.
Well, Karen, you can weigh in on that. I mean, that's what social workers go through. I mean,
I'm not a social worker.
well, I know you're not. But you experience that more than we do.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I would have to say, given the work that I've done over the years in school psychology, we've had, we've had a good number of people, hey, that, we've been able to hire and keep our numbers up. And so I think our families are getting the kind of service that they deserve. But I know in other parts of the state, that's not the case. Yeah. So
Gary, ask him how to do a screenshot.
Yeah. Bring him back.
Yeah. We need help. Help.
Yeah.
Sorry, Karen. I wanted Donna to see her grandson for a second.
Yeah, he's so cute. Yes. Karen reminded me. Kind of in mind, I'm like Biden. Okay. Sorry. I was gonna say that I did have a girlfriend that was she worked with the police department with battered children. I know this is not the same, but they said that that job had so much turnover because people could only take it for, 6 months, and then they completely, changed, and they couldn't do it anymore. And you can see if that you're constantly getting that kind of a, yeah.
Yeah.
So I
Division
can
of Family Services or Children's Services or that kind of thing. They have a really high turnover, and they don't pay,
Yeah.
very either.
Ex-
So in addition to being really, emotionally draining work, to have to, just learn the details of the horrific experiences that
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
had. They're also kind of just barely getting by financially. Yeah.
Well, even on the volunteer end, I know Luann did CASA volunteering,
Did she?
Yeah.
and she could only
Ah.
do it one time because it was such a stacked deck. There was
Yeah.
no way the kid was going to be protected,
Yeah.
and you end up spending 6 or 8 months for nothing, which was fine, but the result was just pathetic.
I have a friend that has done the advocacy in that CASA as well, and she seems to do pretty well with it. But I think that's kind of her personality, that she can kind of, she can sort of get by.
Compartmentalize,
I'm
yeah.
making a little bit of difference, even if it's not everything I'd want it to be. But
Yeah.
it's hard.
Yeah, I've got a friend of mine that just retired as one of the leaders of the Jackson County Division of Family Court. And in addition to everything that we just talked about this, and this also applies on public defenders, she was in a constant rolling gunfight with the rest of the prosecutor's office on funding, because it was, are we going to put away bad folks, or are we going to help families? We're going to help kids, and the kids and the families always came out on the short end of the budgets.
Yeah.
All right, gang, ready for recommendations?
Well, I did want to say, speaking of last time's recommendations, this was a hard movie to watch. I mean, it was just hard in the sense that there were those moments of despair. So I followed it up like immediately with Beverly Hills Cop, Axel F. And it was just like, that nice Jello shot after the sting, the sting of bourbon. I don't know, but anyway, I loved it. Kevin Bacon looks like crap, though. Oh my God, he has like aged a million years in just a few years. I'm like, at first I'm like, is that Kevin Bacon? And it was, but
Wow.
Well, it was six degrees
yeah, we're
of
still
Kevin
Bacon.
Yeah.
We're like 70
What's the real
degrees.
Kevin Bacon?
Where's the real Kevin Bacon? But he did a very good job of being a villain, I was just like, oh, I used to think you were cute. You're not so cute anymore, Kevin Bacon. But I really enjoyed it. What I really liked in the movie, though, was the fact that, all the little things, all the little, scams, and he would run, how they'd really kind of aged poorly. And his daughter kept reminding him, like, you're grasping at straws, like, this is not working. And so finally, when he goes to the hotel and tries to start one, he's like, oh, never mind. Just how much do I owe you?
Yeah.
I liked that. I liked that kind of running gag. I liked that.
Is it a streaming movie or a theater movie?
It's streaming. Yeah.
It's streaming on Netflix.
On Netflix.
Huh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Good.
okay.
Yeah.
Good.
And
It's
what
fun.
I found interesting, Karen, is Eddie Murphy is now 63 years old. So,
Oh my.
the young whippersnapper he played in
Right.
1984 is not there anymore.
I know.
Oh
But
my
he does
gosh.
does a great job of it. And then Bronson Pinchot, oh my God, he has, I mean, obviously has aged as well, but that character is still, a great character for the movie. So it sort of was a nice balm after watching this a little bit more challenging.
Did that go to theaters?
I don't think so. I think it was straight to Netflix.
I don't know.
I believe
I
it
think it went straight to Netflix.
It's a Netflix production.
It might be.
Probably.
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 But I mean, it's got beautiful production values. You know, and they still crash so many cars. Oh my God. When he's driving the snow plow, he just, oh, we got kids.
Sorry. They don't get to see Donna very often. So
Yeah.
Anyway, and he's driving
we're
the
always
snow
stepping
plow,
on your
he just
lines, Karen.
destroys so many cars, and that you know,
Word is that Beverly Hills Cop 5 is they're working on it right now. so-
Really?
yeah, they
Yeah.
kind of
Five?
allude to that at the end of the movie. Yeah, they kind of allude.
Which one is this?
This would be
Beverly
the
Hills
fourth
Cop
one.
AF is number 4, actually.
Four, yeah.
4.
Oh,
Oh my
okay.
gosh.
Because when they're going
I
through
didn't know
his
that.
jacket, they reference the first 3 movies. Oh, back in,
Yeah.
Oh,
I guess I vaguely
81, and then
remember
again in
Beverly Hills Cop 2.
84. Yeah.
I don't remember. I didn't know there was a Beverly Hills Cop 3.
I knew there was a 2. I didn't know there was a 3.
yeah.
There was.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, I just got done watching The Bear, and I'm glad I did.
Bear is
Okay.
good.
I love the bear.
Yeah, that is good.
I saw Driving Madeline.
Oh,
Vicar had recommended that, and it was a rental, but what the hell, it was worth it. And, I would highly recommend that for anybody that can is interested.
so
in
you can get it streaming? You just have to pay for it.
It was a rental.
Okay, good, good.
I can't remember if I rented it from Prime or Apple or whatever, but it was.
All right, I'm going to appeal to the jury. What do you like? What's the appeal to the bear? I don't get it at all.
Haven't seen it.
Really? Did you watch it from the beginning?
Yeah. And we started the 3rd season, and after 2 shows, I said, I'm out. You know, I had to live and breathe in toxic workplaces off and on. Why would I watch somebody's toxic workplace?
Toxic,
I mean, it just,
dysfunctional.
to me, it's just, I mean,
It's,
I watch TV and movies to avoid that, not to indulge it. I mean, I'm out. I just didn't, no appeal to me.
It took a while for it to get started this season. Did you happen to watch the season 2,
Yes.
episode 6?
Yeah. And that show is a masterpiece. And I know what
Fishes.
you're talking about, the holiday,
Seven
the
Fishes.
holiday
Yeah,
episode.
Jamie Lee
Right,
Curtis.
right.
Yeah,
That
that's when
Thanksgiving.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
she's back this year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen the new stuff.
She's back in like number 7 or 8.
Well, Gary,
I
this
like it.
season
I think
just
it's
got-
manic, and I think it displays what goes on in the kitchen, and there's some character development. Although I think they dropped that to a lower level this year than the first 2.
Yeah, this year's gotten some, some mixed reviews. I mean,
Yeah,
this
it has.
got some mixed
I
reviews.
mean, and the last episode says to be continued, so I'm guessing there's a 4 coming.
Well, obviously it's got viewers. I'm just not one of them anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it is one of those that you kind of have to be in the mood for. You're right, Gary. There's that tension that's always happening in that kitchen from their dysfunctional relationship, as well as trying to get food out perfectly. I kind of liked it. Didn't it start out as a beef joint?
Yeah.
I think it
Yeah.
should have
Yeah.
stayed as a beef
It
joint.
was a sandwich place.
Yeah. But I love
Well,
Italian beef. I'm kind of addicted to Italian beef. So
I guess I occasionally put myself in the shoes of the diner, thinking there are people back there ready to cut each other's throats to get me my gazpacho 5 minutes sooner than relax.
Yeah.
It's not worth it. But then it goes like, did diners become so demanding that it put that kind of pressure on a kitchen? It seems like some sort of game going on. I also never understood cooking contest shows. That
Yeah.
TV turned into a whole genre. I never understood that, but I also don't understand why there are goalies in hockey. So then that's a different.
All right.
That one's a little more open ended.
How much more exciting would it be? Come on.
Anybody happen to see Fancy Dance on Apple TV
No.
Plus? That's Lily Gladstone, and a story about her
Oh,
sister missing, and she's trying to help her niece find her mother. And I recommend it. I think it's a good one.
Where's that? I've never even heard of that.
Apple TV Plus.
Okay.
is that the one? Is she the cop in that?
No, in this one, she's just another person.
Isn't that
on
Under the
res.
Bridge?
Under the
Oh, you're
Bridge.
right. Yes, you're
She's a
right. Under
cop.
the bridge. Yes, that was good.
On this
Yeah.
one, she's just somebody else at the res, you know.
I
And her
see.
sister's missing. And Native American women missing is a huge problem. You talk about the people on
Yeah.
death row and that sort of thing. So anyway, I would recommend that one. And another one I recommend, and then I'll stop, is Bad Faith. Has anyone heard about this? There's a documentary about the 2025. And
The
if you wanna-
2025 what?
About what?
2025 project.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
heard about
oh,
this?
yes,
You should be
I've
more
read about
concerned
that.
about that than the debates or anything else.
right.
Trump is just a tool for these people. He's not in charge at all. But
It's scary. That's very, very
it's-
scary.
It's on Tubi for free if you want to watch it, Massa. And it's available on Amazon for 99 cents. Which I thought it was worth 99 cents for sure. Peter Coyote does the voiceover for it. It's a documentary. And it goes back into how the white evangelical movement is taking over the United States, and they don't care.
Who's in their way? That's right.
Right. Who's in
I
their
think we're
way.
gonna be we're gonna have targets on our back because, we're independent, or, if we're not voting the way they want you to vote. It's scary. We can't get anybody to work the polls here because there's so
Yeah.
many threats.
Yeah, it's a
Um,
problem up here too, in Kansas City.
You're kidding.
Yeah, speaking of
Mhm.
which, that project 2025, just today up in Milwaukee, the Republican Platform Committee met, and they basically gutted their entire platform down to about 24 talking points, including obscuring their opposition to abortion, and they're going to let basically it infers they're going to let the Project 2025 be their guiding policy.
Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
is Trump disavowing it or stepping back from it publicly?
Because it's a dog with voters, especially their abortion plan calling for a federal ban on abortions. That
No,
Yeah.
no. I think he's asking why are Republicans stepping away from the amended agenda?
No, Trump himself is specifically stepping
Right.
back from the Project 2025.
Well, he says, he says he doesn't know anything about
Come
it,
on,
but
you
we
can
know
believe
that he
him.
knows everything about it. But he's just saying that so that he can get anybody that is against it, because it is so off the wall and so far out there that he won't get anybody, that's even a little bit moderate in
I mean,
at
it's like
all.
Stephen
They're-
Miller's mantra.
Yeah, exactly. It is. So I think that's why he knows, and he said, I don't know who they are, I don't know what they do, but I wish them a lot of luck. Oh, well, yeah, right. If you
his
don't
name
know
is
who they
mentioned in
are
there.
and what they do, why would you wish them luck?
Miller?
And
Trump's name is mentioned in 2025 document 513 times.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I find it hard to believe that he's never heard of it.
Oh, he's just, he's lying. Shock.
What?
You're kidding.
Now that's a news story there.
Yeah.
Anybody else have any recommendations while we're trying to get through our summer solstice here?
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything new.
So how do we end up with the picks and Karen and
Yeah.
Yeah, I
what
don't
else
know.
going on? I kind of gave up after a few emails.
So Pearson jumped ahead of Sanders. She took a later date.
Yeah, Well, I took the 8th a long time ago,
Yeah.
but
Right.
Okay,
she's gonna pick on the 15th and then do it on the 22nd. I think she's gonna send us an email or something.
so who's picking this week for next?
Well, that might be Karen, since you're
No,
gonna be
I'm not
gone.
here.
She's
I mean,
gone.
I'm gone for
Well,
Who
I
next.
leaves
know,
town
but-
tomorrow?
But I'm saying, you could tell us, if you know what your pick is, you could tell us.
For the
now.
29th? Because I think I'm like
22nd.
Well, the
22nd
22nd is gonna be when
is
Chris
Chris.
wants to do hers in person.
So she'll pick on the 15th. She'll do, but who's picking today for the 15th can't be me because I'm gone.
Whose alphabet is it? I don't even know where we're at.
I don't either.
We're at the end of the alphabet. Whitaker?
Should be
Whitaker.
Whitaker.
Yeah, is Gary?
I
Gary,
said
are
I
you the
was
15th?
I can do whatever you want me to do. So I need to fill
Alright,
in and
what's
pick
your
something
pick?
tonight for next week.
Okay,
Yeah,
print
the
screen,
15th.
sucker.
Moonstruck. Have you guys seen Moonstruck?
Oh, let's do that one. That sounds like a great idea.
There's a double feature we might get
Snap
on the
out
big
of
ear.
Snap
it.
out
And
of
the big
it.
year. And the big year.
All right.
Right.
I've never seen it, but I want us all to
Really?
watch the. No. I've seen Moonstruck and have been taking shit for it for a year and a half.
Oh, no.
That's a 4-year-old joke now.
Okay.
Yeah, but the
I'm a
movie I
newbie.
want
I don't know these things.
Well, I read an article back in the day that the most downloaded, watched movie during the pandemic, when people are hunkered down, was Moonstruck. It was not something that I thought of as a cinematic treasure. I just thought, well, we might as well get on trend. So we watched it, and I've been taking crap for it ever since.
Oh,
Um,
Oh, I don't know. I wasn't
the
there.
walk,
We had no women there, right?
the,
That should have
Right.
been, that should have been in your guys' handbooks when you joined. Okay? Karen, Donna.
well,
It's
Do
back there
not
in, you know.
pick Moonstruck.
that's the other thing. It's hard for me to know, movies because I mean, I'm not going to go to YouTube and look at every meeting you guys have had for the last 4 years. So
What? Oh, yeah.
Bill,
that's required.
You'll have-
Yeah, that's in the handbook too.
Fuck that noise.
No,
I'm not going to do it. But it would be nice to know. I guess if I just suggest something and it's already
No,
been done, you can
Karen,
say,
Bill has the list. Bill.
Bill's got
I'll
a
send
kind
it
of
to you.
a
He sent it to me when I
running
first
list
joined.
of it
all right, I'll
It's-
ask Bill.
when he gets back
Yeah.
from
It's in a time-
Colorado.
Yeah.
Yeah,
'cause
it's in a time capsule.
If Bill will ever talk to us again, I don't know, but
Yeah, because I'll announce mine on the 22nd and I'll do it on the 29th. So I can talk.
Okay.
to Bill.
8th to 15th. What is it, Whit?
The Joaquin Phoenix movie, Her. I've never seen it.
Oh,
It
okay.
won for best screenplay. It was nominated for multiple things, and it's kind of I think it's going to be a nostalgic look back at what AI was supposed to be when we thought about AI 7 or 8
Right.
years ago. So I just thought, well, that'd be interesting to see what they then thought
Yeah.
now versus what we now think. So anyway, if you haven't seen it, I hope you'll
And
take a look.
it's
If you have seen it, I
Her?
hope.
Okay, I
I think
haven't
it's
seen
called
it.
Her.
H-E-R.
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 But I think
Yeah.
it's H period, E period, R period, isn't it?
no, that's Megan the
That's her.
Stallion.
Joaquin Phoenix and
Yeah.
what's her name?
Yeah,
What's
her,
her name? Come on.
her.
Her.
Yeah, her.
What is her name? The famous
Is
movie
it,
star. Anyway,
Oh, that narrows it down.
Okay, wait,
Scarlett,
wait,
is it Scarlett?
Joan Crawford. It's Joan Crawford with Joaquin. No, I'm kidding.
It's,
Yeah.
isn't it Scarlett Johansson or no?
It's
Yes,
Cher.
Scarlett Johansson. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen it, Karen?
Yes. Yeah, it was okay. Not a huge Joaquin
There's
Phoenix
a-
fan. And I
there's a
can't
rousing
put my
endorsement.
finger on why. I just part of me's like,
And that's it. And I think he's America's greatest actor.
really?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
by far. That's what makes the world go round. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
her for what, we'll discuss that next Monday.
Yeah,
For the
well,
15th.
I won't be
Okay.
here.
Okay, then who's picking on the 15th? That would be,
Chris.
Jeff.
Chris,
That'll be
right?
Chris.
Chris for the 22nd, yeah. She'll pick on 15th, present on the 22nd.
that
I'll
right?
pick 22nd, present on the 29th.
Okay,
Right,
all right.
right.
Then it's Jeff.
Then we go back to, alphabetical order instead of this crazy
Yeah.
non-alphabetical order.
Then it goes to King Arthur.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Right.
As you can probably tell, I have a house full of people and I need to go
All right. Say hi
pay
to
attention to
everybody.
them.
All right,
Have
I'll
fun
see
with
you
them.
next
Send me a
week.
picture, Karen.
Oh, okay, all right. I don't
Alright,
know,
do it.
but I will. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
See y'all.
Take care.
Bye.
Shane.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Guess we're leaving.
So Mahoney, are you staying